Okay, so on question 25, so this goes back a little bit to what we said. This right here is what? What notation is this? Scientific, okay? So turn your calculator on. Okay, turn your calculator on. Everybody press the mode button. Press the mode button. At the very top, do y'all see SCI? That stands for scientific notation. So we're going to put the cursor on that and press enter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the main screen. I'm going to type this problem in exactly like it is. So I'm going to start with alpha y equals, because it is a fraction, I'm going to type 4.8 times 10 raised to the negative 7th on the top. Then on the bottom, I'm going to type 1.6 times 10 raised to the negative 11th. Then I'm going to press enter. Did you all get 3E4?
Oh, I got 30,000.
Okay. 3E4. So which one do you think is the answer? It's A. Okay. That E4 is exponent of 4. There's my 3. Okay. Pretty easy, right? Just had to type it in on the calculator. Y'all want to guess how many people got this question right on the test? Out of the whole class, this and the other section?
About 2.
7. 7 people got. This is a gimme question. You follow me? This is one that everybody should get. But again, you gotta know what the calculator, how to use the calculator. Okay? All right. Scroll down. Let's look at 26. Scroll for me, not for you. Sorry. A circle. A circle in the standard coordinate plane has center negative 1, 2 and passes through 2, 6. Line segment AB is a diameter. What are the coordinates of B? So obviously doing the math is going to help you, but alternative methods to help you at least eliminate choices are graphing. We kind of did this the other day. So I'm going to graph. So there's negative 1, 2. There's my center. There's C. I've got a point, 2, 6, 5, 6. Now, it gets kind of hard to do this, but you can actually draw a circle. Now, you don't have a compass, you don't have a ruler, but I told you the other day, tear the edge of your test booklet. Make it a ruler. So go like this, just put it here, put your pencil here, and then just swing that thing around, okay? Everybody kind of follow what I just did? You could do that on your test, okay? I'm going to freehand this one just to kind of draw a circle as best I can, okay? So I'm going to just come around, try to keep it even all the way around. It's not the best, but it's not horrible. Now, what it's asking for is where's this point B, okay? Where's this point B? So you start looking and you start thinking about, can I at least eliminate some choices? Like this one doesn't make sense. 3, 4, 5 would be over here. 10 would be way up here. You understand what I mean? That answer doesn't make sense. Okay. 4, 2. Could 4, 2 possibly be it? Possibly. Okay. What about negative 4, 2? Or negative 2, sorry. Negative 4, negative 2. Maybe, depending on how good my circle is. It seems like it's a little, but it could be. I don't know for sure. Negative 5, negative 1, that seems a little bit closer on my circle. Negative 6 would be here. Negative 2 would be here. Okay, so those are all kind of bunched together. The point is, you just try to look and say, is there one that seems closer on my drawing? If there is, go with it. Is that the best way to answer it? No. But it gives you some semblance of a direction on how to do the problem. All right, let's go to 27. So we addressed this yesterday. Look at all my answer choices. What do they all have in common? They all have X. So we said if all your answer choices have variables in them, then this is one where you can pick a number. And we said don't use what numbers? 0 or 1. So I'm going to say X is 2 again. I always try to keep it very simple. Now here's the original problem. 2 cubed minus 64. All right, so I'm going to type that in on my calculator. So one of the things you'll want to do on your calculator when you've changed something on there is reset it. How do you reset it? I gave you this tutorial video in your Google Classroom. It's second plus number 7, all RAM, and reset. That clears out all the other stuff you've done. So if you do 2 to the third minus 64, that's negative 56. Now, the one thing you've got to be able to do here is you got to know what a factor is. So what is a factor? A number that you what? Multiply to get a certain thing. So I'm looking for what are the factors of negative 56? What are numbers you can multiply to get 56? 7 and 8, 2 and 28, 1 and 56. Everybody with me? I don't know which of those work, okay? All I'm going to do is I'm going to plug 2 in. So I go to A. I plug 2 in. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Does negative 2 go into negative 56? Yeah. Okay. I tried the others. What's 2 plus 4? 6. Does 6 go into 56? Nope. This doesn't make sense. 2 plus 64, 66. Is that going to go into 56? Oh, that's way too big. This one, 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 16 is 20. Does 20 go into 56? No. And then I do this one. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 16 is 12. Does 12 go into 56? No. So there was my answer. Okay? Now, some of you may actually know how to factor. This is called difference of cubes. But if you don't, pick a number, put it in. You do have to understand some concept. You got to know what a factor is. But it told me exactly which one was correct. And again, if you were doing this method, when would you do it? On the first pass or second pass? This is on your second pass. You look at the problem, you're like, I don't know how to factor. Skip it, come back to it, see all your answers have X in them, and say, hey, can I pick a number and plug this in and maybe figure out what it is? Yeah. Make sure you grab the hall pass. Okay, let's go to 29. This one's really not hard. Here's this number A. He wants to know A squared. Can you all square negative 2.5 on your calculator? Yes? Here's the thing you got to be careful about, though. Everybody tap that in on your calculator. Do negative 2.5 and square it for me. Tell me what you get. Okay. It should be 6.25, okay? And here's where you got to think some common sense. When you square something, that means you what? Multiply it times itself. So here's one of the things you've got to do. When you type this in on the calculator, you don't type negative 2.5 squared. You type parentheses negative 2.5 squared because you're squaring that whole thing. Then all you do is you look on the number line to see which one's just a little bit past 6, and there it is. Now, could you mess this up on the calculator? Absolutely. If you don't put that in parentheses, you're going to get a negative, and then boom, there's your answer. And the ACT knows that. They know that's what you would do, but that's wrong. So again, knowing how to use the calculator is just as important. Let's go to question 38. It says, which of the following expressions, when evaluated, equals an irrational number? How many of you know what irrational means? Okay, a few of you. But if you don't know what irrational means, that's irrelevant. Okay? It's saying one of these numbers is what? Different than all the others. Now, it's hard for me to look at all those answers and say, which one's different? Can we change all those to decimals and say, which of these looks most different? Absolutely. Okay? So, that's all we're going to do. Get your calculator again. Let's start with F. Type square root of 2 over square root of 8. And you should get 0.5. Okay. If I do the next one, square root of 8 over square root of 2, I get 2. If I do the next one, I get 8. If I do the next one, I get 4. If I do the last one, if I do square root of 2 plus square root of 8, I get 4.242640687. Which of those looks like the most out of place? Okay, there's your answer. I have no clue what the word irrational means. I do, but you understand what I mean. I'm just looking at it and saying, okay, it's just asking which one's most different. So put them in a form that you all can recognize and say, which one looks most different? There's my answer. Do you see how I'm trying to get you to think a little bit? I want you to think differently. This is not a math class, so don't think that way. Let's go to, we'll do a couple more here, and we'll be done. 44. This is another one you could do on the calculator. These are in y equals, so where do we go on the calculator? Go to y equals. We've already done absolute value. Where was absolute value? It's in the catalog. You do second 0, catalog, select absolute value, and you're going to type in that x minus 6. But it wants to know, how does this graph look different than this one? So what I do, I go down to y2 and I put in that just absolute value of x. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my graph. I'm just going to press graph, and I'm going to look at them and say, how did the first one look different than the second one? So how is the first one different than the second one? The second one was right on the origin. Where did the first graph go? It moved it to the right. So you look over here, is there one that says moves to the right? Yep, sure enough, right there. You just look on the calculator and see what happened. Let me show you one more with the calculator, okay? Are we getting into some of the harder problems now? Absolutely, okay? Because we're past what number? 30. Once you get past 30, you're getting into some hard stuff. Go to problem number 54. Okay, another graphing problem. Man, This looks like real confusing because this is like trig stuff and it looks super hard. But you know what? It's a just straight calculator problem. What does it say again in the problem? Y equals. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the y equals on the calculator. I'm going to get rid of all that other stuff I just did. I'm going to type in what this says. Sine x squared plus cosine x squared. Press graph. When you press graph, what do you have? I just got this straight line that goes across. There's your answer. Now again, you got to type it in. Okay, so sine x squared plus cosine x squared. The point is, this is question number 54. Is this meant to be really, really hard? Yeah, this is, but it's still something you can answer just if you know how to use the calculator. Okay, do some strategies. So what I'm going to do, let me skip ahead here. Okay, there we go. So right here is the answer key for the math section. So I'm going to leave this up here. Can you all see that? Is that big enough? Can everybody read those? Let you check your Scantron so you can go back and correct or mark the correct answer. Now, they don't all go A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so just for clarification, F is what? A. G is B. What's the next letter? H would be C. Okay. Then it goes to J, right? There's no I. J would be D, and then K would be E. Okay? So that way you can cross-reference. So I'm going to leave this up here so you can check them. While you do that, I'm going to hand out your formula sheet. So I'm going to give you a blank formula sheet that lists, and I say formula, some of them are just basic concepts. These are the most common things on the ACT. So after you check your Scantron, next thing I want you to do is fill out that formula sheet, and then tomorrow we'll go over that, okay? And then we'll be done for the day.